So we are actually going to look through all the banners of Genshin Impact from version 1.0 to the current version 4.0, and I've prepared a little tier list that we are looking through, and we will actually check out all the banners that were actually a thing, and then we will decide if we want to actually put that into the tier list. So here we go. I am excited. I've planned this for quite a while now, but now it is time because we are just one more day before version 4.0, and therefore we have a lot of time to discuss before we actually are going into 4.0. So yeah, before I am talking stupid things, let's fluff and go. So this is the tier list here. I have prepared it with all the banners that actually exist. And therefore, let me just see if it's on the screen. It is not on the screen. Okay, 1 second. This is the tier list. These are all the banners. I will actually pop them up each, so they are a little big and we can see them. And then we can start. So let's see. So we are obviously starting from version 1.0 and slowly go up to 3.8 at the moment. So let's start with 1.0. Here's my text. Yeah, it's working fine. This took me quite a while, but I am happy it works. So let's go. Let's pop up banner number 1, which was actually... wait, I have to slide this up a bit, otherwise it won't work. Here we go. No, that's too many. Where's the others? Wait. I have to disable a few, and that should be fine. Alright, this is just a folder, so I just drag it up there. Right. Yeah, now it should work. Alright, let's go. This is banner number 1, which was actually the very first when you started the game. And let me just check the time where it was. Here it is. So this was in September 20... September 2020. Like the 28th September in 2020. And it did run up to the October 18, 2020. So we had Venti, we had Barbara, we had Fischl, and Changling. And therefore, this was quite a nice starter banner, obviously. I also used that to actually just pull, because I've started the game at day 1 of the official release, not the closed beta. But I have decided to actually pull, like my starter pulls, into the first banner, because I wanted some nice 4-star characters as well. And therefore, I will put this into... let me see... So, I am putting that into the B tier. Next one is the one that we had afterwards, which was with Klee. It's the wrong window? No. No. Hello. Here. Alright. So, Klee's banner was quite... impressing, because many people were hyped about it when it came out. They really wanted to pull for Klee, and they wanted like a new DPS character after pretty much getting sick of all the standard 5 stars. And some people didn't like Venti, and they also didn't pull Venti, so fair enough. And then Klee came around, and we had a nice 4-star setup as well, with Jingchu, with Sucrose, and with Noelle, and that was very nice because, yeah, everyone could use Noelle, so yeah, I am probably putting that into the B tier as well. Although, I mean, even then, if you think about the 4 stars are pretty nice, but I'm still putting that into B tier. It's not as bad as a C or D tier, I think, because Clea was still nice back then in version 1.0. But she wasn't the best. But obviously, people loved her for being better than just the standard 5 stars as a DPS character, mostly. Alright, we have the weapon banner number 1. Let me just shrink it down a little. So the weapon banner was not amazing, but we didn't have many options back then anyway. So on the other hand, we had the stringless, which is still a very perfect 4-star bow. Amos bow and Aquila, not the best, but they were okay. So we had Favonius and we had stringless. So I would say let's pop that into the I will still put it into D tier. So let's pop that into the D tier. It is not the worst, but I think if I don't start low on the D tier, I don't really have too many other options in the other tiers. All right, next one. That was banner number 2 of the weapon banners. That was actually the first time I think people really started to pull for weapons, where they really went all in, and many Diluc lovers, is it Diluc? Diluc? They really loved the Wolf's Greystone, and therefore they really wanted that weapon, and they went pretty much all in. Like, I've watched a few videos where some people did spend like $1,000 or something just to get the Wolf's Gravestone on R5, and I think that was pretty insane, and I would never do that. Like, don't waste your money on weapons, actually. But yeah, so I would say that was a pretty nice banner. We also had some nice 4 stars here with Sacrificial Sword and Greatsword. Not really, Greatsword wasn't really that popular back then, but the Sacrificial Sword as well as... Is it Sackbow? It's Sackbow, right? So pretty decent weapon banner. The 5-star Catalyst was obviously for Clee, so therefore not impressive, but a good option. So let me see, I will put that into the A tier, I think. Because, like I said, the 4 stars were really nice. Alright, we are heading into version 1.1. That should... Yeah, it did. Alright, it works as planned. Alright, we have banner 1 of 1.1. So we got Child. I think many people were really hyped about playing Child because, or Tartaglia, because obviously in the story he was pretty amazing. The boss fight was nice after we've discovered... no wait, it was updated in 1.1, I think. So we got the boss fight in 1.1 and we did fight Child, and many people had expectations to get like Child as the boss version that we did fight, but obviously they would never do that, like give you the overpowered version of him. But still, he was quite controversial, I think, at the beginning, because many people really wanted that super strong new character, and some people loved him and some people hated him, which is totally fair. I didn't really like him too much at the beginning, but I actually got him by accident. Because I actually pulled for Diona, and this was the worst pull session I've had ever, because I got like 6 Ningguangs, I got like C6 Ningguang before I got one copy of Diona. And it was the first time I did charge up as well. So that was pretty bad. But yeah, I got Child as well at some point in those 80, 90 pulls or so. And then I never really played him until later on. But I think he's a very strong character if you build him nice. And that's why we also will see him again in version 4.0. So yeah, the 4 stars are not the best. I mean, Diona was pretty nice back then, so we had a nice shield. But Ningguang wasn't really that good. Even though you can build her as a DPS, I guess, but I never was a fan of her. Even if I got her at C6, I tried her out, and she was not my thing, and I didn't like her. So I also never tried Beidou back then, because I was all time playing Razor as a main back then, and I didn't want to level up another Electro character, which was my fault because Beidou is pretty strong. But yeah, let's put this banner into the C tier. All right, next one is actually banner number 2. We got Zhongli. Zhongli was pretty amazing. He did completely change the comfort zone of players, including me. I got him pretty early, I think. And I also pulled because I wanted more Razor copies, which was cool. Qingyan, I never really played her. I can't judge her, even though I just know that people don't like her mixed stats. That she's like scaling on different stats. Chongyun, I never tried as well back then. I wasn't really a fan of like Cryo in general, I think. But I still got like a few copies of Razor. And Zhongli was amazing. Like, he just really changed the game. But people were not happy about the geo reactions. They still aren't that much anymore, like today. But I think back then it was just so underwhelming because people expected something super crazy, like it's changing the whole game. But I think what it really did was just changing the comfort zone of players. So they became a very comfortable in the game by using Zhongli as the best shield. And yeah, so I'm putting him into A tier. Yeah, let's go to the first weapon banner in 1.1. That was actually oh yeah, it was it Child's? Wait, is that the second one? No, wait, that's Child, right? Just check something. Yeah, okay. So this weapon banner, I don't know. Skyward Harp would pretty much mean you play Child as like a DPS, which he is. But I think the bow still isn't really his best thing, even now. And that Memory of Dust is pretty much one of the worst 5-star weapons we got in the whole game. Rust is pretty nice for sure, but anything else here besides Favonius Lance is actually pretty much garbage. So this is probably one of the lower end weapon banners, so I'm putting that into the D tier. Amazing Gaming. Hi. Who's your favorite character? Is it Zhongli or is it Child? So, weapon banner number 2. This one is actually, yeah, pretty insane too. Like, insanely bad. Like that Vortex, Vanquisher, and the Unforged, I don't know. They are both not really anything crazy, and I think you should still not play Zhongli as like that weird DPS, sub-DPS mix or something. 4-star wise, not really that good either. So I would say that's also like a D tier. So yeah, let's go into D tier. All right, we are done with version 1.1. So let's head into version 1.2. So banner number 1 in version 1.2 was giving us Ganyu. Ganyu changed the way people looked to bow users, I think, because everything before was pretty much not that amazing, apart from like Venti's skill. But people never really played it as like that zoom in, shoot, zoom out gameplay that Ganyu provided. And so I think she really changed that the bow user playstyle for many. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. Like, I don't want Ganyu, I don't like the playstyle, but I appreciate that she is actually very strong, and that she's, if you play her right, with the nice setup, she's actually very, very strong. 4-star wise, we had Jingchu, we had Chengling, and we had Noelle. So a pretty decent 4-star lineup back then, especially because Chengling was one of the best characters you could get in the early game, even if she's still dead in the game nowadays. But back then she was like unreplaceable pretty much in most teams. As well, that Jingchu was a bit underrated back then, if I remember correctly. Like, people didn't really appreciate the nice sub DPS damage he could provide, but I think this was before we got the emblem set. So maybe that was the reason why people never really did build him that much. But yeah, I think from my experience, I would say this is like a B tier banner. So let's put her into B tier. The next one was actually... Oh, wait, maybe I could do it in the different order. So I'm doing it in the weapons as well. So I'm doing her weapon banner now. Maybe? Wait, that's wrong. So her weapon banner, Amos Bow again, and Skyward's Pride. So yeah, 4-star wise as well. We had like the sack sword, but apart from that, nothing crazy. So I would probably also put that into the D tier. That was not really that amazing. I'm not even sure if I have enough space. I think, wait, is that? I will see. Yeah, I didn't plan the space actually. All right. Yeah, then next is banner number 2 in version 1.2. That was actually giving us Albedo. Albedo is obviously, I say obviously a lot, but Albedo wasn't that great back then. People didn't like the playstyle that much. They also did not like the Geo element. And therefore, many people skipped Albedo, which I am one of them. I have tried his trial version, and I think I still like the quest, but I didn't like the playstyle. And I didn't really see the reason why I would get him and put him into my team, because it just didn't feel like I need him. But if you look at the 4 stars, we actually had a really nice setup of Fischl, Sucrose, and Bennett. And that was like a pretty decent 4-star setup. So I would say I put that into the C tier. It's not the worst, but it could have been better. If I just would rank this by 4 stars, this would be pretty up, like A or S tier, but this is mostly about the 5 stars, so never just pull for a 4-star, as I can just not say it often enough. It will be wasteful if you just pull for 4 stars and don't want or need the 5-star character. So the weapon banner, that was the other one, this one here. we had this weird summit shaper. I think I never really seen it in the game because I never had this weapon and I also don't need it. Skyward Atlas, yeah, it is okay. I think more that the 4-star stuff here is better. So you had like Stringles again, you had Sacrificial Fragments and the Lance. But apart from that, I think this is also another one of those D tier weapon banners. And that's about it with version 1.2. We are heading into version 1.3. So let's change this, and we are actually 1.3 now. So yeah, Chao's banner changed my playthrough, I think. Yes, hi Avocado. Never just go for the 4 stars, unless you really don't care about the 5-star. But even then, I would say still wait for another banner where it is better to pull for one of those favorite 4 stars you have, because you can get a 5-star that is actually useful for your characters and for your teams. Like generally, don't waste too many wishes and primos on characters you don't need. But yeah, so Zhao changed my playthrough. I really liked him. He looked super amazing. He was like that first 5-star character that I was like really hyped about when I've seen him before he was in the game. And then I really wanted him. And I have not really that much. I didn't have many wishes. So I just had like maybe 40 wishes or so. And I got him, and I was pretty happy. I also got a few copies of Diona back then, and yeah, that was pretty nice. So Zhao, and like if you just rated by the 4 stars here again, I would say that's not really the best lineup you could pull for, but I didn't care because I really wanted Zhao for this case. So yeah, let's see. I will put it into the B tier. Not the best, but not the worst either. We had the weapon banner. Wait, is it this one here? That's the banner. Weapon banner. Oh yeah, this was the weapon banner. I think. Did it introduce the Jade Winged Spear, or was it already in the standard banner? I am not really sure at the moment, but yeah, I didn't go for that because I didn't have any more wishes after getting Zhao. So I didn't want to waste too much for pulling weapons. Back then, I did not really pull for weapons anyway. But the Jade Cutter is pretty decent. It's not the worst weapon. And the Jade Spear, obviously. It was very nice for Zhao, but I just built him with the 4-star options I had back then, which wasn't the worst. So, let's see. I'm putting that into the C tier, actually. Then we had banner number 2, which was the only time, I think, that we got Keqing in the standard, not in the standard banner, like in a event banner, like a limited one. I am not sure if I got her back then or if it was on a standard banner, but on the other hand, I think even if you wanted Keqing, sure you could pull here, but it was probably wasted a little bit. So 4-star wise, you could get Bennett and Barbara, which was okay, but you pretty much get Bennett in most banners anyway, or like I said, don't just pull for 4-star. So I think let's put that into the D tier here, because don't waste primos for a standard character. That is very important. Let me just check my list so I'm not getting confused. Exactly, so that was the weapon banner number 2 for her. Weapon banner 2. This one here. Was it? No, it was not this one. That's why we got the Jade Cutter, right? So we had banner number 3, which was actually the introduction of Hu Tao. So yeah, Hu Tao joined the team. I think I also pulled for her back then. I think I did. And she's pretty amazing. Yeah, so 4-star wise as well, Qingchu and Zhengling again. You had Zhongyun, which was getting more popular, I think, because he was part of that national team stuff. But I'm not sure if this was before or after Kazuha. But apart from that, yeah, this was a pretty nice banner, I think. Very valuable for your account if you wanted Hu Tao as well as some of the 4 stars. So I'm putting that into the A tier. The problem is I should have not put Zhongli into the A tier because the 4 stars were not that great. So even though back then Zhongli was amazing, but I'm not sure if I should have rated by the time frame, like rated from the eyes of back then or rated from now. So I might put him into the B tier, so that would make more sense with those 4 stars. But yeah, this might be a bit weird. Anyway, let's go for the next one. So we had the nice weapon banner here, where we had probably one of the strongest 5-star lineups together in one banner. So if you wanted to wish for weapons, I think that was the nice time for it. So you could get Wolf's Gravestone or the Staff of Homa if you got the 75% chance, I think. But yeah, this was a pretty nice 5-star lineup. 4-star wise, not that great. So it's hard to put this into the S tier. If this was like full with Zac weapons or Favonius stuff, this would probably be an S tier weapon list. But apart from that, I still would say this is an A tier. So let's put that into the A tier. And that's about it with version 1.3. So let's head into version 1.4. Let's save this. Now it should be in 1.4. Right. So character banner number 1 in version 1.4 was giving us back Venti, Sucrose, Razor, and Noelle. Is that correct? Let me just check something. This must be correct. It is correct, okay. So this banner was actually running from March 17th to April 6th in 2021. And yeah, pretty cool. Not the best 4-star setup for sure. But if you wanted Venti back then and you didn't got him in the first run, you had another chance. But probably should put this more into the C tier now. Let's see. Alright, banner number 2 was Chile again, with official Rosaria and Barb. And that is an okayish setup, but probably another C tier. With the weapons, yeah, this was Venti's weapon banner here. This also introduced a new 4-star, I think, if that was the new one, the Alley Flash. And we had Favonius Bow, and nothing that great. So probably putting that into the D tier as well. So I hope this space is enough, actually. This might be a bit difficult now. So let's see. This is the weapon banner number 2. We had Skyward Harp and Lost Prayer of the Sacred Winds. 4-star wise, not the best. So yeah, we had some mixture of Favonius and some sex stuff, but 5-star wise, I think this was not really that worth it. So definitely another D tier. Yeah, it is working good. All right, we are heading into version 1.5 now. So let's see. 1.5 brought back Chongli with Diona, Noelle, and Yanfei. Not the best 4-star combinations, but yeah, probably a B tier, maybe even a C tier. Probably, I would say B tier because if you wanted Chongli, for sure it is worth it. We had banner number 2, which brought us Eula with Jingchu, Beidou, and Jingyan. I think I wasn't really a big fan of her when she got released, because mostly that like I said, had already a full build Razor. So I was a Razor main back then, and I didn't want to waste my money and my wishes for a 4-star, for a better 4-star character, pretty much. So Eula wasn't really on my list of getting back then, but I would say let's put that into the C tier, because she is still a very strong option if you wanted any main DPS character for your account. Weapon wise, this is pretty much... Wait, why is it this one? Is that the one? No, it's not. Wait, let me check why is it this one. Wait, really? Okay, so the Chongli banner was actually giving us the Memory of Dust and the Summit Shaper. So, okay. That's not really a good weapon banner, so that is definitely a D tier. Not really taking too long for that. I'm also like speeding up a little bit more now because I still want to finish this today. This one as well, not really that good. Really weird 4-star options. But I'm just curious right now, why is there a Blacklight sword here in the web banner? What? That's a bit awkward. But yeah, it's still a D tier. Let's go and see. Are we actually in 1.6 now? Yeah, we are getting into 1.6 now. So here we go. Version 1.6, banner number 1. Brought back Klee. That was like her first rerun, I think. And a cool 4-star setup as well. But at this point, most players were pretty much not looking too much for 4-star upgrades anymore. So I might put that into the C tier. And version 1.6 was also the last version before version 2, by the way. So back then they skipped quite a few versions before we were heading into Inazuma. But with 1.6, this was in the summer event time in June 2021. And it brought us actually Kazuha. So here's banner number 2 with Kazuha. And he had Bennett, Racer, and Rosaria as 4 stars. Pretty decent, but not the best 4-star combinations for sure. But people really wanted Kazuha, including me. So let me just scroll up a little bit. Yeah. So I wanted Kazuha. I think this is a pretty decent banner. Like it's hard to say if this is like an A tier or a B tier, but I think like 4-star wise, I think it's a B tier. Even though I would put it into A tier as like a personal preference, but I think B tier is more fair enough. And then we had the weapon banner number 1, which was actually Lost Prayer and Skyward Pride with some weird 4-star options. Probably again another D tier. And we had weapon banner number 2, which was another weird one. So yeah, this was Eula's one, I think. Is it? No, this is Kazuha's. The Freedom Sword. 4-star wise, also more like of the newer stuff. I would say I would put this one into D tier and this one into D tier. All right, we are actually getting into version 2.0. So version 2.0 introduced us to quite some new gameplay with Inazuma. And the first banner we got was actually Ayaka with Yanfei, Ningguang, and Chongyun. No new 4 stars, okay. So Ayaka was very hyped because many people liked her design, her like nice characteristics, as well that she just looked pretty nice. And I did not pull for her because I didn't had many wishes, as well that I think I just didn't want to waste anything, and I wanted to save for something that I really wanted again. But I would say, yeah, this is like mostly a B tier. Not too bad, but also not too great. So next one. Let's check her weapon banner. So the weapon banner was actually Epitome Invocation with the Mist Splitter Reforged and the Skyward Spine. Okay. 4-star wise, pretty okay. Like you had some nice mix with pretty much everything useful as a 4-star. And on the 5 stars, for sure, if you got the Skyward Spine, that was a bit wasted. So it only made pretty much sense to get into the banner here if you wanted at least the Mist Splitter, or if you had Ayaka and you wanted her weapon. So looks pretty decent, I think, like one of the better weapon banners here. So I would actually put that into the B tier. So next one is banner number 2. We got Yoimiya. All right. So I think I remember polling because I really wanted Sayu, and Sayu just looked so fun to play. Like the stuff they introduced to her, it just looked so cool. I really wanted Sayu, and I couldn't really hold back to wish as well that I tried out Yoimiya in the trial, and she just looked so fun and felt super strong as well. Like she was the first bow user that really was feeling super cool to play and strong. And I just went in because I really wanted Sayu. So I got actually Sayu on C2 or 3, and I got Yoimiya. So I was pretty happy about getting like a pretty cool 5-star character then. And I would actually put that into the B tier. So we had the weapon banner number 1. What about the weapon banner number 2? Oh yeah, this one. So Thundering Pulse and Skyward Blade with some Sack and Favonius mix, as well that the Rain Slasher and stuff, and the Dragon. How's it called again? The Dragon Spine? No. Yeah, pretty much a cool weapon if you had Yoimiya. Apart from that, I think back then it wasn't really that useful. I mean, you could play it on Child as well. So with like the Skyward Blade as a second option, not really the best 5-star banner, but I would say it's a C tier because the 4 stars are not that bad either. And that's about version 2.0. Let's head into version 2.1. So version 2.1 gave us, oh yeah, it was actually probably one of the better like 5-star banners we had in the early stage of Inazuma, obviously, because it got us Raiden. A very strong character. People didn't really... It's like it did repeat the same thing we had with Child, I think, where at the beginning it was very controversial to get Raiden, because some people had the expectations that she's like the super strongest DPS character, but in the end she turned out like as this sub DPS. And I think this was also like the first time where I've seen people discuss that they felt scammed or something, like about wishing for a character that wasn't as strong or good as they thought, or as they maybe thought it was advertised. But yeah, personally I skipped it because I didn't have many wishes left after Yoimiya, and I also didn't really wanted Raiden back then. I'm not sure why. 4-star wise, we had Sucrose, we had Changling, and we had Zara. She wasn't really that great back then, and people didn't really know like how to really use her, or why they needed her, like Zara. And she's still pretty much only good if you got her on C6, so it's a weird combination. Yeah, Raiden was pretty cool, but not many people really wanted her unless they really were just going for the hype and the insane story and stuff we had with Raiden anyway, and they wanted her. So I would say from the perspective of back then, this was probably a B tier. Even though you could argue that you say Sucrose and Changling are... Wait, maybe I should put it in A tier. Yeah, I think A tier fits pretty nice here. So you can see I'm still holding back with the S tier stuff. Hi, Khaleesi, how are you doing? I'm good. So we are halfway through, and I'm going through up to 4.0. So that will be good. Keqing is pretty decent nowadays because you can play her with like a nice Dendro combination. And you can also pretty much use her as like a full Electro team or Electro charged and stuff like that. So she is pretty decent. I did not build mine really that well, but she's still strong. But back then I just didn't feel like it was worth it to pull in the banner she had. But yeah, Raiden is good. But yeah, we just didn't really knew back then how to actually use her that well. So her weapon banner was pretty decent too, but like I said, it's... Most people wasted all the wishes on Raiden, and like at least free-to-play people that I've seen, and they didn't have much left, so most people were unlucky and didn't get the weapon if they pulled for it. Or many people also got the Unforged, which is actually one of the worst 5-star weapons in my opinion. But yeah, I would probably put that into the C tier here. Let's see. I'm probably going to wish for 4.1 stuff, so I might skip 4.0. But yeah. Let's see, we have the banner number 2. Oh yeah, there was Kokomi. Kokomi is, at least back then, she felt quite strong in terms of like, you could play her as like a nice Hydro DPS character if you wanted to, but I mean, she was pretty much mostly a healer, which she is very good with. I didn't pull for her because I never really needed that many healers. I also had like Chun-Li, I had Diona fully built on C6, then I had a Sayu on C5 or 6. I had like a Barbara and a Bennett. So I didn't really feel like I need another 5-star or like another healer at least back then. So I also skipped Kokomi. Her 4 stars are decent, not the best, but with Jingchu at least you had something good. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good maybe a B tier. And let's quickly go over her weapon banner as well. That was the famous donut. You got back the Jade Cutter, and we got the Everlasting Moonclaw. The 4-star stuff was also okayish, but yeah, not the best. So I would probably put it again into the famous D tier for don't pull for weapons. Yeah. So we are. Wait, is that correct here? Yeah, it is. Let me just check so I'm not going into the wrong banners. Of course, some versions actually had free banners, so it is a bit confusing sometimes. But we are actually going into 2.2. So let's see. We are going into 2.2 with banner number 1. That was actually Child. Oof. Huh? All right, Child was coming back with Zhongyun, Ningguang, and Yanfei. So, like, again, if you wanted Child and you really saved up for him, you just went all in anyway. But the 5 stars are not that good. So I will just say that this might be one of the lower end banners, so probably also putting that into the D tier. Wait, why is it always scrolling down? All right. So that is the first banner. What about his weapon banner? That was, oh yeah, that was introducing the Polar Star, I think. So pretty decent weapon if you had a Child. I think apart from that, no character else did use it, I think. If I'm correct. Unless you could play this on Yoimiya too. But you also got back the Memory of Dust, which is still like one of those cursed 5-star weapons. Like many people who pulled in 5-star weapon banners just got it so many times that they really are sick of it. And yeah, I think this is the first time they had the Akumaru sword in the 4-star category, as well as like Rust and some Favonius stuff here. So pretty okay. But I think, like I said, if you did not have Child or like didn't want any weapon for him, 5-star weapon, this is a wasted banner. So I'm putting that into a D tier again. So we go. All right. What about the next one? So, oh yeah, we got Hu Tao back. Hu Tao was coming back with Thoma, with Sayu and Diona, and even though not many people liked Toma, I really liked him just for his style and his character. Like, he just felt so cool in the Inazuma story that, yeah, he just looked pretty cool. But since I already had Hu Tao, I think it was that banner where I did not get her. So I think I got her in the first one, if I remember correctly. I think it must be, yeah. Because I got her pretty early. And so I did not wish again here because I already had her. I didn't plan for any constellations. But if you wanted to pull here, it was still a cool option because, I mean, Sayu is pretty good. I think she's the best character as like a 4-star that could boost your account if you need a healer or if you just want to get a nice character who can swirl. As well, that she was just really good for exploring. And Inazuma was quite big, and so it probably made sense to get Sayu. And Iona was also like the good 4-star shield if you needed her, and a decent healer. So this is probably another 8 here. Here we go. Alright, so I should hurry up a little bit so we are not staying too long here. But I hope you enjoy. So the weapon banner here looks pretty cool, but at the same time, most people just wanted the Staff of Homa. So yeah, pulling for it was a hit or miss. As I've watched quite a few live streams, I think, at that time, where many people just really wanted that Staff of Homa. And didn't really care about the elegy of the end. But yeah, they still got it. So probably a C tier, I would say. Alright. So that's about version 2.2. We are jumping into version 2.3. So starting with the first banner. Wait, that was the first one, I think. So we got back Albedo. Albedo joined back with some pretty amazing 4-star setup. But I think he was still underrated back then. But if I remember correctly, it was around the time where we got the Albedo event with the nice 4-star event weapon. So I think he was better than in his first run, especially because he had a nice I think they also changed Geo a little bit, if I remember. Or was it only Chongli? They changed something back then, but I can't remember correctly. But let's say this is an C tier again. Alright, next banner. That was actually Eula again. Okay, so Eula came back with Rosaria, Noelle, and Bennett. So pretty okay, not the best, but again, like I said in the first time with Eula, I did not wish for her. So probably a C tier again. And she had... Wait, oh yeah, this was that banner. Okay, so the weapon banner was pretty okay. Freedom Sword and Song of Broken Pines. I mean, obviously it was Eula's banner here, or the Song of Broken Pines. 4-star wise, I'm not really a fan of those the dark blue weapons here, so not the best banner for weapons again, but better than most others, I think. So maybe a C tier. Unless, Nah, let's put it into D tier. So, Zoe, I joined on 3.1 and I had no idea the banners weren't double until a while ago. Yeah, it is crazy actually. Like, in the early versions we had like not that many banners, but now we had like 2 or 3 sometimes in one phase, or like one version. Yeah. So it is quite insane to keep up with all the banners if you are free to play as well, because it just makes it so much worse. You can't get every character. That is just a thing. But yeah, let's go more into the 2.31 here, which introduced Ito. I really wanted him and Goro. I think I already had a Changling on C6 by then, and also a Barb on C6, so it wasn't about them. But I really wanted Ito. Because I've tried his trials, and he was just so amazing. Like, he was the best Geo character for me, even if I liked Zhongli as a shield, but I didn't like him like for the Geo reactions or the damage. I just liked him as a cool shield character and like a nice dude. But Ito changed it. He changed the way I look up to just bashing with the big weapon. And yeah, also like the Oni stuff I am fan of from other anime and stuff. So it was just really fitting well for me. And so I've tried out Ito in the trial and he just clicked with me. So I would say this is definitely a B tier if you wanted a nice main DPS character. And we had his weapon banner as well. The problem was I never really cared about weapons back then. I had the 4-star season pass weapon on R5 because that was the weapon I gave my Racer back then. And so I didn't really care about the weapon banners. I have seen quite a few people pull on live streams and stuff and videos. And they also, yeah, wasted many wishes until they got like the weapon on R1, or if they wanted to get it on R5. It was quite painful to watch. So probably another weapon banner I would skip if you don't really have to pull for it. So another D tier. Alright, that's about version 2.3. We are jumping into 2.4. So this was the second one. This is the first one. So we had Shenhe. I still don't know how to pronounce her. She's one of those characters that I never really cared about because I never played Cryo that much. As well, that I just felt not really involved with her like playstyle as well as the animation and stuff. Story-wise, she was okay, but also like she felt cooler in the story than she was playing, if that is correct. But yeah, not really a banner I would go for. Yunchin, Ningguang, and Zhongyun, not really that great of a 4-star option. So let's put that into the D tier actually. I'm not blaming the Shenhe fans, by the way. If you are into cryo stuff and like you have like a full cryo team or something, for sure she is very useful. But I think as like a normal player, I think where you don't really care about just a character that is boosting your team rather than doing anything else, I think she's not that great of an option. So Xiao was number 2. Xiao came back with the same 4 stars here. So Xiao, if you didn't have him, and if you didn't get other main DPSs until then, like Hu Tao, Ganyu, Ayaka or something, I think I've seen still a few people go for him then. So he is definitely a nice option. but probably would put that into the C tier in terms of the game version back then. And then let's check out the weapon banner. Number 1. That was actually, the Jade-Winged Spear again, and the Calamity Queller. So Shenhe's weapon here. 4-star wise, not really that good again. Probably, I would say this is another D tier. Even though it is not the worst, but it is still on the lower end, unless you really wanted that weapon for Shenhe. But I think she's still very playable in 4-star options. So we got banner number 3. This was, I think, the first version where we got 4 banners in one update. So we got Ganyu with Qingqiu, Yanfei, and Beidou. Yeah, if you didn't had her from the first one, or if you wanted constellations, I would say, sure, you could have gone for her, but still not the best 4-star setup again. So I might put that into the C tier. And banner number 4 was actually Zhongli again, okay? I don't remember that, but okay. So we had Zhongli with the same 4 stars here. Qingqiu, Yanfei, and Beidou. I think he got nerfed a bit if you think about the whole stuff they added with Inazuma. So Zhongli was actually not that great anymore, just as a shield back then, because the gameplay was more focused on the healer aspects back then. So I think this is more of a C tier in this version. And then we had weapon banner number 2 in that update. That was actually the Endless Bow and the Vortex Vanquisher. Again, like I said, not really a big fan of these, so I'm putting them into the D tier. Alright, this was it with version 2.4. We are heading into version 2.5. So we are checking out banner number 1 in version 2.5. Oh yeah, that introduced Yaemiko. So we got Yaemiko, we got, is it Yaemiko? It's probably Yaemiko. With Thoma, with Fischl, and with Diona. And this banner was completely under my radar, to be fair. I didn't care about Yaemiko. I didn't need another Electro character. Like I said, I had Fischl as well. I had no interest, actually, because I also didn't had Raiden back then. So I just skipped that banner completely. I think it is valuable if you wanted Yaemiko as a nice sub DPS. But probably I would say, this is difficult. It could be a B tier, but I might just say it is. Could be a B tier, but maybe a C tier. I hope I don't offend all the Yaemiko fans now. Let me just put on the music again. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so this is that banner. Let's go into the other one of version 2.5. That was actually Kokomi again. Okay, that was quick, I think. It felt like quick. So yeah, pretty weird 4-star setup. You had like Kuchisara with Jingyan and Bennett. So if you didn't have Kokomi from the first time, again, probably not the best banner to pull for, unless you really cared for Kokomi. So I would put that into the C tier here in this case. She is still a decent character. So let's see. Weapon banner number 1 was wait, that's the wrong picture. All right, so Kagura's Verity and the Shade Cutter. So 4-star wise, it is okay, but like you have like three things that you don't need, and like 2 things that are okay. So if you didn't had Yaimiko, it is pretty much useless. So that is another D tier for me. And then we have weapon banner number 2, which was actually pretty cool. Wait. It had the Moonclaw and Raiden's weapon with some weird 4-star options. Okay. That is a weird option. But, wait, I know why. Wait, I'm stupid. This is because we got back Raiden back then in 2.5. So that makes sense. So I'm putting that into the C tier because you had like... wait. Yeah, so if you wanted the weapon just for Kokami... Wait, no, it's not a C tier. I'm silly. This is still a D tier. This is still a D tier. So, alright. Banner number 3. This was actually, yeah, here it is. Raiden's comeback. So we had Raiden with the not the best 4-star setups, but people still back then, I think, realized then that Raiden is actually pretty nice to have for most accounts. And then she was a bit more popular, I think. So, yeah, putting that into the 8 here. And that's about the 2.5 already. All right, so let's jump into 2.6. And 2.6 gave us Ayato. So Ayato was introduced, and his playstyle is pretty cool and fun. Just from the trials alone, he was feeling super nice. You had 2 nice 4-stars with Jangling and Sucrose, so not the best, not the worst 4-star options at least. So if you wanted any high-throw DPS character and you didn't have Child or didn't want him, Ayato was there to make up for it. Personally, I didn't pull for him because I didn't need him or want him. So I would say probably a B tier. Yeah. Then we got banner number 2, which was bringing back Venti. So Venti came back with the same 4-stars. I think he lost a bit of the appeal that he had at the beginning of the game because he was very useful for exploring and he was also fun. But this was also, I think, because many people like me had the... I want to call it like the honeymoon phase of Genshin. So he was this like very obvious Mondstadt character. So many people liked him because of Mondstadt and the flare. But yeah, probably still maybe even a C tier at this time around. So let's see. Ayaka came back in 2.6. And now listen, this was actually the longest banner we had. This was the famous super long banner of Ayaka It was running from April 19th to May 31 in 2022. So yeah, this was the longest banner we had. They had like a very long break because the events in the world. 4-star wise, not the best, like Rosaria, Razor, and Sayu. So if you wanted Ayaka, it was a nice option, but I think I would put that into the C tier actually. So weapon wise, we had 2.6 with yeah, a weird mix here. There was the LHG for the end and the Haran Gepaku Futsu. 4-star, the Flute is still one of the worst 4-star weapons, and we still had it so many times. So it is a bit stupid. At least you had the Rust, but this is typically my D tier weapon list here. And we had is it this one? It is. Okay, so for Ayato we had the Mist Splitter and the Unforged with some cool 4-star Favonius, and yeah, this was not the worst, but at least you could have used the weapon for Ayato or for Keqing. So I'm putting that into the D tier still. Alright. That is it. We are going into 2.7 now. So 2.7 was pretty okay. We got Yelan. So Yelan was introduced in 2.7 with that dark underground event and stuff, and the update in general. And 4-star wise, probably the lower end of characters you need. Unless you really needed some Noelle constellations or maybe some barbs, but not really the best 4-stars. But most people didn't care in this case because they really wanted Yelan. I must say in her first run, I was actually skipping her because I didn't really need her. She was cool in the test, but I still didn't need her. So I just skipped that. So I'm putting that into the B tier. We had banner number 2, which was bringing back Chao with the same 4 stars. Yeah, probably another C tier here. And we had back Ito. Ito came with Cookie and with Goro. Wait, is that the introduction of Cookie? I think it is. Is it? It must be. So I think this is when they introduced Cookie. Back then she was really not that great. Technically she didn't really change much until now, but at least with Dendro, everything changed. So this is probably it's difficult to say. This could be a C or a B tier, but I might put that actually still into the B tier, I think. All right. So we had weapon banner number 1 in version 2.7, which was giving us the Aqua Simulacra again. Or is it the first time? Wait, it is the first time. This was Yellow Weapon. And then we had the Jade Wing Spear again with some very mixed 4 stars here. Yeah, I think as a low spender or a free to play, this is not a good or necessary weapon banner. But at the same time, let me just show it again. You had the Jade Wing Spear again, so I might put that into the C tier actually. If it had a bit more better 4-star stuff, I would even put that into the B tier. But yeah, this was not the case. So that was... oh wait, there's another weapon banner. So we had weapon banner number 2, which was actually... yeah, a weird mix again with like the cool Red Horn Stone Treasure. But we had the Memory of Dust again, so very cursed weapon. And some very mixed 4 stars again. So this will be a D tier. All right. We are jumping into 2.8, which was the last version before Sumeru. So let's see. We had... oh yeah, this was that time. I remember that. So this was actually when I got my Kazuha, because I really wanted Kazuha until then. In the first run of him, I didn't need him. I didn't like him. Like, I liked him, but I didn't need him, I think. And that I also didn't have many wishes back then. But in the second run, I really wanted him. So I have saved most of my wishes until then, I think. And then I got him on that rerun. He came with Heizu, the new 4-star Anemo DPS character back then, and with Toma and Ningguang. So not the best 4-star combinations, but at least you had Kazuha again, if you missed him out on the first one. So this is A tier this time. Oh, okay. So 2.8 also brought us back Klee with the same 4 stars. I think by then in that version she wasn't really that great anymore. So this is maybe even a D tier, I think. This is the third 5-star character banner I'm putting into the D tier. So yeah, that's that. Let's go for weapon banner number 1. That was actually the Freedom Sword and the Lost Prayer to the Sacred Winds again, with some mid 4 stars. So not that great. Slapping that into the D tier. And now we also got back Yoimiya. So Yoimiya came back with that version. Well, 4-star wise, not the best. It was kind of weird because they kind of just put her into those in-between updates, and it felt so hard because if you saved for her or if you liked her and you wanted her, you just wanted her and then, well, you went for it. But in this case, I would put her into C tier because the wishes were just a lot more rare back then after you have spent for all these stuff before and you wanted to save for some mirror stuff. The weapon banner here, like I said again, it's not the best, so this is another classic D tier weapon banner for me. Alright, so we are jumping into Sumeru with version 3.0. We are almost done. So we have banner number 1. I actually must say I did went for Tighnari because I really liked him. He just looked so cool and cute. And I wanted a new Dendro character apart from Collei and the Dendro Traveler. So I just really wanted to pull, even though I shouldn't. Tighnari is nice. He's not the best character, but he's not the worst either. So I would put him into the C tier category. But 4-star wise, you also got Iona and Fischl. And if you wanted to build up your first side character for Dendro staff, Collei was also in the banner. So it wasn't the worst banner. But I would say it is still a C tier. And then we had banner number 2 in the same phase. So we had Zhongli again. Probably a B tier, I would say. We go. All right. Let's go to the weapon banner here of the first phase. So it was actually Tighnari's weapon, which is... Wait, it did only run one time, I think. So we only had it one time at that 3.0 version. So it is kind of weird. But yeah, you also had the Vortex Vanquisher and some mixed 4-star stuff. Not the worst, but you didn't need that banner, so it was kind of stupid if you go for it. It is getting quite packed here. So we had banner number 3 and 4, which are... Let me go through them in like each phase now, so we are speeding up a bit. So yeah, we had Ganyu and we had Kokomi with Sucrose and Qingqiu as really nice 4-stars, but we also had Dori. Dori was quite mixed. So many people were hyped about just getting new 4-stars. Because after the really lame 4-stars we got in Inazuma, to be honest, I just hope that we get something cool and nice again in Sumeru. But Dori didn't really deliver on that. And she was kinda underwhelming, and she still is until now. So I think Ganyu and Kokomi with those 4-stars are decent C tier options. So if you wanted anything for your account, it was good. Of course, you had some nice 4-stars, but just from the 5-stars alone, maybe not the best way to spend all your wishes. Let's see. We had the weapon banner number 2 as well, that was giving us the Amos Bow and the Everlasting Moonclaw with some more or less mixed 4-stars. So maybe another C or D tier, or I might just put it into D tier again. Alright, we are getting into 3.1, and that was actually not the best update, but on the other hand, we had some nice addition with Nahida. Wait, was it Nahida? Wait, she wasn't in that banner. No, I'm silly. This is not the banner I'm looking for. But okay, wait. Here we go. Why is this so big? So yeah, we had Sino and we had Venti again with Cookie, Sayu, and the introduction of our new 4-star. I think Candace was quite hyped, to be fair, because she looked really cool. And the issue was just that she didn't really deliver on that hype again. Like, even if like Dory wasn't really that useful, at least you could maybe use Candace in some teams or variations, but at the same time, she didn't deliver on the hype. 5-star wise, you had Venti and Sino. Sino, again, he felt like a better version of Razor, as like a 5-star character who's just using electro main attacks. Let's see. So I'm putting Sino into the C tier, and I'm putting the Venti one into the B tier, because that one at least had a few nice 4-star options. The weapon banner number 1 was for both of them. Had a mixture of some cool 4-star stuff, but at the same time, not really that great either. So probably putting that into the D tier. And then we had banner number 3 and banner number 4. So just making that a bit bigger here. Yeah, so we got back Albedo again with a mixture of 4-star characters that are useful at least, but most people were just hyped about Nilou. So Albedo was just also dropping out again. If you also did not get his 4-star event weapon in the older versions, I think it was not really that worth it to get him again, even though he is still a decent sub DPS character. But yeah, I think Nilou was pretty hyped at the beginning of the game in 4.0, 3.0 and 3.1. But she was really only hyped because of the new Dendro reactions that were so powerful and crazy that people wanted something crazy to try out with Plume. And therefore, I'm putting her into the C tier, and Albedo in this case into the C tier as well. About the weapon banner number 2. Oops. Weapon banner number 2. That was actually giving us the first 5-star sword that is boosting HP. Yeah. Actually not only useful for Nilou, but at least it was her signature weapon. So I would still put that into the D tier. And then we are heading into 3.2. Let's go. So this is the weapon banner. These are... Alright, yeah. So we got, with 3.2, we got Nahida. And we got Yoimiya. So again, Yoimiya was quite quickly back after 2.8. And it just felt so weird because, again, it was pretty much that she was put into those in-between updates and banners. 4-star wise, not the best lineup. We had Bennett, Eraser, and Noelle, but people really wanted Nahida, and that includes me. Nahida is actually one of the most broken characters, in my opinion, that you can get. So I'm putting her into the S tier. I think everyone who wants any Dendro character for their team should get a Nahida, because Nahida is just very simple to use, but at the same time so powerful. Then we had the Yoimiya stuff here. I would put her into the C box. Alright. We had the banner number 3 and 4, which are actually also quite okay. we had Yaimiko back and Child again with Toma, Heisu, and Layla. And Layla was introduced back then. So pretty normal banners by then. It just felt a bit more crazy if you think about it. We had 4 banners each update then, and it just wasn't really as easy to even save for them anymore. So I would put them all into the C tier now. And then let's check the weapon banners here. So wait, here it is. Yeah. So weapon banner wise, Nahida's one was pretty okay, but I think she's one of those characters that gets a nice buff from the 5-star weapon actually, but you don't need it. It is not as essential or something. So I would put them into the C tier here. The other one of the Polar Star and Kaguya, probably in D tier as well. So not the craziest banners. All right, we are going into 3.3. All right, let's see. So we had, oh yeah, this was the first time where a lot of people were super hyped again after Nahida as well, but like in general. So we got Wanderer and we got Ito. Again, I think Wanderer is very nice, so he is very strong. If you want any main DPS character for any account, I think he's a nice option, but he is not a must-have in my eyes. It is especially because you have to like his playstyle. If you don't like the flying around, it is not your character. He is very strong, he is very good, so I'm putting that into the A tier, I think. And Ito's banner. Oh wait, yeah, as well that we got Farusan in this update. Farusan is again one of those 4-star characters that is really just there to boost team characters, and I think it is not that great. So she's not really good if you don't get her on C6 as again as they did with other characters. The Ito one I will put into the B tier. So we had these two as phase 2 characters. Raiden again with Ayato together. That was one of the strongest 5-star banners in my opinion that they did launch together. So it was very difficult to choose from if you did like both characters. So I would say I'm putting the Raiden one in A tier. I'm putting the Ayato one in the B tier. And let's quickly go over the weapon banners as well. So we had the weapon banner number 1 and the weapon banner number 2. Let's see. Yeah, I'm also slowly running out of space here. I can see. All right, so weapon banner number 1 had that bell thingy. How's it called? Tula's Remembrance and Redhorn Stone Treasure. And the other one had wait. I'm breaking it. All right. It had the Haran Gepaku Futsu and the Engulfing Lightning. Yeah. So first the banner, pretty much the 4-star stuff is okay, but it's not the best that you really need. So I would say the one with the bell is more like a C tier, but the one with the weapon with Ayato and with the weapon for Raiden is actually maybe even an A tier. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe just a B tier. All right. Yeah, and that's about it. version 3.3. Let's go into 3.4. So we have 3.4 with Alhaitham and with Jiao. It introduced us Alhaitham, which is a very strong 5-star character in general, but as well, especially because of Dendro. The 4 stars are underwhelming here, even though, I mean, if you get your Chunyin, my gosh, yeah, if you get them to C6, they are useful. But Yao Yao was also pretty cool, like as a new add-on for 4-star Dendro characters. I think she was one of the only 4-star character I like in the Sumeru update line. So I would say Alhaitham is an A tier. He's a very strong character, and you can actually use him in very many team comps for Dendro stuff. The Chao banner here, I probably put that into the C tier again. So not the best. And then we had weapon banner number 1, which was actually giving us back the Jadewing Spear again. And the Light of Folia in Genshin. The 4-star stuff is pretty mixed. Not really that crazy options as well, that you can get Flute again and stuff. So it is not recommended. I would not pull here actually. Even though they look cool, but it is still probably not worth it. So that's the D tier. And then we have banner number 3 and 4 in phase 2. 1 second, it's the wrong one. This one here. All right. So yeah, we got back Hu Tao. And we got Yelan with Jingchu, Ningguang, and Beidou. Both are very strong 5 stars, as well that if you didn't have them from the previous runs, it is probably a nice banner. So I'm putting that Hu Tao one in the AT again. And I'm also putting the Yelan one into the A tier. All right, and we had weapon banner number 2, which was actually another crazy 5-star weapon banner. So we had Aqua, Simulacra, and Staff of Homa with some really underwhelming 4 stars, to be honest. Like half of them are okay, and half of them are not that good. So this is probably, with Staff of Homa still, let's say a C tier one. And that's it with 3.4. We are heading into 3.5. So let's check out 3.5 with another double banner down. We had a very crazy hyped character with Dea, and Sino came back with some okayish 4 stars here with Collet, Barb, and Bennett. But the problem was that Dea was very overhyped. She was, I think, the character that I think many people did really want. And then they announced that she will join the standard banner, and everything crashed. So Dea was really underwhelming, underperforming, and just kinda not the character that people expected. So as cool as she looks like, this will be sadly one of the D tier character banners. The Sino one I would put back into C tier again, because he is not the best character, but also not the worst one from the Sumeru update. And then we had so we had their 5-star weapons. Also pretty underwhelming if you ask me. So that goes into the D tier. It is getting very squished here. Okay, we are at banner 3 and 4. So Shenna came back with Mika, with Diona and Sucrose, and we had with Mika again a weird 4-star character that actually looks cool, but at the same time he is not useful. He's just not really in the character you need in your team. He was kind of designed to boost like that attack speed, which is a bit useful, but there's other 4-stars that are better for this stuff. Like you could use your Bandit just to boost your damage and your team, or your Genshin for the attack stuff. But Mika it felt like Mika was more made for Eula. So he should have run with a Eula as a 5-star. But anyway, Shenna came back and Ayaka. 4-star wise, not the worst, but at the same time, I guess. Let me see. I will definitely put Shenna into the D tier again, and the Ayaka one into the B tier, maybe. Yeah. Alright, we are almost getting close to the end. So, weapon banner number 2 was again more just made for Ayaka. But at least that weapon can be used by a few characters by then. So it is not the worst, but I will still, again, put it into the D tier. To be fair. So we are closing 3.5 now. So we are jumping into version 3.6 now, and this is crazy. So 3.6 was a very strong version, like gameplay wise I enjoyed it, but at the same time, yeah, so Nahida came back as well with Nilou together, and that felt like a really crazy 5-star combination, because you can play them really nicely together in the Dendro Hydro Plume comps. But if you didn't have wishes, that was quite difficult and painful. So I think I tried to get Nilou back then again. So I'm putting Nahida into the S tier here. As well, that Cookie really just got so much stronger with Dendro that now she's really good. I'm putting Nilou into the B tier because I still don't like that she's kind of restricted to the Bloom stuff, and I don't know. I would not just get a character just for that one type of gameplay and reactions. So wait, banner number 1 was actually giving you the key of Kaini suit and the floating dream one here. 4-star wise, pretty okay. I think this is the first time I remember I was pulling for 5-star weapon stuff here, because I really wanted Nahida's weapon and I didn't got it. So I got the other one here, the Kaini suit, and I gave that my Layla. So she's actually quite decent now with that HP stuff. But I also got a few copies of the Moonlight one, the 4-star sword here, which is boosting the Elemental Mastery, which I gave my Kazuha, I think. So that one I think I would put into the C tier actually. And then we had the second one, which was made for these. Wait. So another character that was very hyped, but in my opinion, not really that good. So Baisu was actually, I don't know, he looked cool, but at the same time, I didn't really like the snake stuff, and I just didn't want him. So I skipped him, I didn't want him. On the other hand, you had some cool 4-star stuff here going on with Fischl and Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Wow. Kavev. Kave? So he is actually a nice Dendra character if you wanted to try out 4-star plume stuff. If you did not had other Dendra characters so far, he is a nice option. But yeah, Ganyu again back. I didn't like her playstyle, like I said earlier, so I'm not a big fan of her. So I'm putting actually Baisu into the C tier here and Ganyu in the C tier as well. And then we had the weapon banner number 2, which was actually giving us the Amos bow and the Shadefall Splendor and some more or less cool 4-star stuff here, but not really the best banner again. So that goes straight into the D tier. So we are jumping into 3.7 now. We are close to the end, and I'm happy about it. But let's see what's awaiting us. So we are getting banner number 1, which was bringing back Yoimiya, and we had Yaimiko. 4-star wise, they introduced Kiara there. Kirara. Yeah. But yeah, so Yoimiya was put yet again into those in-between updates, kind of like close before Fontaine, and just people didn't expect too much crazy things for before 3.8. But also Yaimiko, and I think there was also like I would put Yaimiko into the C tier here, and Yoimiya into the B tier. With the weapon banner number 1, there was actually also looking pretty okayish, but at the same time I would not go for it, so this will be put into the C tier still. And then we had banner number 3 and 4 in version 3.7 that actually are both very good. Kazuha and a quick rerun of Alhaitham with Yao Yao, Heisu, and Changling. So Kazuha's banner here definitely really good at choice. So I might put that actually into the S tier. I really like that 4-star lineup you had here. Especially if you wanted a 4-star Dendro character for your teams. But in general, I think Kazuha as well. Nowadays, even more, obviously a really nice character to have in your account. And I'll have them again in the A tier. So about their weapon banners, they had this one here. It was okayish, but again, you can play both characters easily without the 5-star options. So I might just put that into the D tier. And that is it with 3.7. We are going into the last one before 4.0. So we are going to version 3.8. We had Eula back and we had Klee. So this was actually the first time I was interested to get Eula, because before that I didn't really care about her the whole time. And then I just decided to just wish a little bit, because why not? So I think I did like wish 10-20 wishes or so, and I got Eula. So yeah, this was kind of weird, but at the same time I think I just wanted one cryo character for my account, even though she's mostly physical anyway. But yeah, so I got her. I'm happy with her, but at the same time, it's not a must-have character in my opinion. Klee again, she is still underperforming nowadays, especially because of the restrictions for getting close to the enemies. So I put that into the D tier. The Eula one I probably put into the C tier here. All right. That's about that banner. So the weapon banners of them were both of these here. 4-star wise, not really that many good options. So that is a classical D tier now. And then about the last ones of 3.8. We had Kokomi and Wanderer. So, yeah, both pretty nice, but at the same time, still no must-haves, I think. I would put the Wanderer one into A, and the Kokomi one, because of the lower 4-star characters, into the B tier. And that's about the characters. We had one more weapon banner to cover here in version 3.8. So that is actually pretty average again. You can use it, but I mean the donut is not really useful for most characters apart from Barbara or Kokomi. So probably another D tier here. And that's about Genshin version 3.0. We are going into the last banner now, which is actually version 4.0, which we will get in one more day. So let's check it out. So we are getting the first banner of version 4.0 will be Liney with the 4-star characters Bennett, Lynette, and Barb. So a pretty decent 4-star setup, I think. Most people might not need Barb, but I mean, she's still a good character if you don't have her on C6 yet. Then she's very nice. Bennett as well, unless most people already have him on C5 at least and don't want C6. This might change. I have a feeling this might change with version 4.0, that maybe some people will unlock the C6 of Bennett because he will be maybe very cool for mono pyro stuff, but we will see. Anyway, we are getting Liney, and Liney is actually a 5-star bow user who's a pyro bow user again, like Yoimiya, but with a more how's it called, like that self-hurting gameplay. And this is very different from stuff we had before for 5-star characters at least. So let's see how he will be actually playing. I'm not super hyped about him, even though I really like his design. He looks so super cool, but gameplay wise, I'm not fully sure yet. Like this whole gameplay that feels more like a 5-star Ember is a bit difficult now, but we will see if he's actually super fun or not. The second banner is Yelan's Rerun, which is also very valuable if you want her just for the open world exploration, but as well as I have a feeling that we get more Hydro hype again in Fontaine. So definitely a nice option. So I can't put Liney very far up so far, so I might put him into the C tier for now, because we still have to wait until we can play him. The Yelan one I will put into the A tier. So I think that's about the characters. And then we also have the weapon banner here. So yeah, weapon wise, we still don't know much about the new 5-star, like at least how it will play out. So the new 5-star weapon we will see. the first great magic. But the Aqua Simulacra is pretty okay and nice if you have heal on, so that's a good option too. The 4-star options are okay-ish here. Not the worst, not the best. But I would probably still not really pull for that weapon banner here. So I'm putting that straight again into the D tier. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to add... I forgot to add the second phase. My gosh. Wow. So yeah, second phase is actually Child and Chongli. So they will probably be put into C and B tier, I think. But yeah, I can't do that right now because I can't update this thing here, I think. Is it presentation mode? I'm confused. Can I update this? Nope. Anyway, oh wait, hide, edit. Let's save it before I'm over here. Title of tier list. It's the Genshin banner 1.0 to 4.0. Impact banner. Tier list. Alright, let's save that. Just so I don't lose all the progress. And then I'm coming to an end here. So I really thank you for watching. You can actually make your own one. So I will link this down in the live stream. And you can actually download or like set up your own tier list here if you want to. So I will try to add the phase 2 again. Edit. Oh yeah, that works. Okay. I will do that after live stream, maybe. I don't have the pictures yet. Unless you give me a minute. Phase 2. Alright. Phase 2. Oh wait, true, yeah. I think I know why I didn't add it, because I didn't have the 4 stars we are getting with it, so that's why. That makes sense. Alright, let's come to an end. Thanks for watching, and let me know which banner is your favorite, maybe. Like, that's my question for now. And I will link down the tier list so you can actually make your own one here. Let me see, where's the link? Submit. Was for the edit. So presentation mode. Is that the link? I think that's the link. I'm just linking that down in the chat, so if you want to check it out, you can try that. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and have a nice evening or a good night. Sleep well. Stay fluffy.